Somehow On Air-Deraan returned.
That is right. After decades of planning, On Air-Deraan is back for episode 12. And bloody, don't hold your horses, hold your hats. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hold your Dave Filoni hats.
Hold your bloody Cad Bane hats. Hold your hats from that guy who isn't the constable, but is the same race.
Yeah, don't hold your nice guy hats.
Yeah, keep the fedoras away from us, please.
Subverting expectations.
Yeah, the point of what I'm trying to say is we've got something really, really special for you tonight. And who is it that has it for you? Well, it's your boy the Vulture, Vojta himself.
And Freddy, myself.
That's us. Two selves.
Two selves. What are we doing today, Vojta?
That's a very good question. Well, after we've spent the last 11 episodes talking about some of the best Star Wars that exists.
Indeed.
Well, 10 and 1 about the 12 series that might be the best Star Wars in the future.
Ooh. Including Droid Story?
Especially a Droid Story. Especially if Grogu is the hero that they are training, as we have established.
Yeah, and Gonk Unchained is going to be a good one too.
Bloody Gonk Unchained. Bicentennial Gonk.
The Bicentennial Gonk.
Yeah, so after all of that good stuff, originally the plan was to detox with the worst Star Wars that exists, which we agreed on is probably the Clone Wars movie.
From 2008, the one that started the series off in a way a lot of people didn't like.
Yeah, it's to this day the worst rated Star Wars movie as far as I'm aware.
I can't believe it got a theatrical release. I find that so baffling.
Most people probably didn't believe it even after it was announced because it only got about 68 million at the global box office.
Really? That's the lowest for a Star Wars movie. That's lower than The Last Jedi.
By at least 5 million.
Yes.
It's more like 800 million.
Probably. Yeah, I think The Last Jedi did pretty well.
Yeah, I think it cracked 1 billion, but still. Yeah, by about 1 billion, which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So, it's a bit... They're big numbers.
Speaking of, did you know that 47 films have cracked $1 billion at the global box office?
47 films?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's a lot of Marvel films I haven't seen.
Oh yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot, though.
That's a lot of Avengers.
That's a whole alphabet of Avengers.
Yeah, our Alphabet Squadron Avengers crossover.
Yeah, you have A-Vengers, B-Vengers. My favorite Y-Vengers.
Yeah, they're renaming the Marvel What If to just Y-Vengers.
Y-Vengers it was the working title for Civil War.
Really?
No, of course not.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. I imagine there's probably a porno parody of Avengers called Avengers Assemble.
That is probably correct.
I'm not looking it up.
And I'm pretty sure that there's a Star Wars one called Arsage Ventras.
Oh my god.
Which, spoiler alert, is an actual note that I made for this episode.
Oh my god. Yeah, I feel like I know the moment that made you... I feel like I know the exact moment. So basically, what me and Voice did is that we watched the original Star Wars The Clone Wars 2008 movie, and I imagine we both have lots of thoughts. I wrote 7 pages of notes on my phone.
Oh my god. Okay, on your phone, that's a bit different.
It's on my phone, so it's smaller.
Yeah.
But
I wrote 258 words of notes.
A lot. That is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when this film came out, 2008, I think Christmas 2008 or Christmas 2009, I got this movie on DVD when I was a child, and it remains the only Star Wars film I have on DVD. Because I have all of the original trilogy and prequel trilogy only on VHS, and then I have all the new ones, apart from Rise of Skywalker, on Blu-ray. I just didn't bother getting the Rise of Skywalker. I'm never going to watch it again. Until we... No, maybe.
I mean, we possibly will, eventually.
So, we're probably going to structure this episode similar to our Mandalorian recaps.
So we can just assume that we're already in Grand Admiral thoughts.
Yeah, Grand Admiral thoughts, and then the hallowed segment, Crochet Granite.
Yes. I don't think that we have to stray away from spoilers in Grand Admiral thoughts,
really
because
cares?
this film is almost 13 years old at this point. And after Crochet Granite, of course, we will go into the nitty-gritty.
No, Crochet Granite isn't non-spoiler. Crochet Granite is the plot summary.
I was talking about Grand Admiral thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
I just interjected at a very wrong time. And we will, of course, do our world-famous segment, the light side, the dark, and the one in the middle, the Bendu.
Yeah. Emmy-nominated segment.
Yeah. And then our Razzie-nominated segment, Tag and Bink Watch. I think we might need to postpone that for another episode.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
because I still got nothing.
Is it not going to happen until we watch Solo? And only when we watch the Solo deleted scenes?
They're not even in that one.
Maybe the Tag and Bink Watch could be in the best Attack of the Clones deleted scenes and is actually a scene from Solo, A Star Wars Story. You know, because the best deleted scenes from Attack of the Clones are the ones that aren't even in the friggin' film.
No. You're thinking of the best deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith, which is the best.
I got the joke wrong.
It's fine. Now you are the joke.
Can you introduce me as Joke? Too soon. Okay, speaking of joke, what did you think of this film, Voiter? I just want you to just say what you thought of this film.
Actually, I was surprised how much I liked this one.
Me too. I am scared because I actually kind of liked it a lot more than I was expecting. I remember this film as a literal steaming pile of shit. And then when I rewatched it a couple of days ago, I was very pleasantly surprised. Because there were points where I actually liked the directing, where I thought it looked really cool. And I was like, I thought this was really shit. So
yeah, I mean, only a few weeks ago we were like, okay, sequel trilogy, pretty bad, but at least it's not Clone Wars the movie, right?
Yeah. There are some pretty bad moments in this movie, I will say.
I mean, honestly, I don't...
What if I say some really bad dialogue?
Oh, dialogue, pretty bad. Voice acting, especially from my boy Obi-Wan, horrendous.
Well, especially from... Well, I'll just say outright. So, in the Clone Wars movie, they actually got Samuel L. Jackson to voice Mace Windu. And it sounds really weird. It sounds like he was doing basically the same thing that I do right here. That he was recording in his house and was ashamed about it and didn't want anyone to hear him. He was so quiet. I was like, bloody turn it up.
Yeah, just someone please let some snakes free in his house so that he gets some energy in his performance.
Yeah. Thing is, I think I might have become quite accustomed to the Clone Wars voice actor for Mace Windu. To me, that's what Mace Windu sounds like, which is a bit weird.
Yeah. And I think that being accustomed to Clone Wars might be what saved this film for us.
Quite possibly.
Because before Clone Wars was a thing, Star Wars was the movies that have a bit of a different tone to the show.
Yeah.
But after 7 seasons of Clone Wars, 4 seasons of Rebels, and I'm not sure how much of Resistance you watched, but I watched
can tell
at least
you.
one.
I watched none.
Okay, no need to change that. I think that at least in our brains, what the tone of Star Wars has shifted a little bit, and it's no longer as jarring to us as it used to be back then. But then again, we just finished watching The Mandalorian, which at points is pretty brutal even.
But Clone Wars has a lot of brutal moments. I would say there's some pretty brutal moments in this film that I was actually kind of surprised were in a kids' film. Because I would say the Clone Wars movie is a kids' film. Just like
Definitely.
how the first couple seasons of Clone Wars are for young kids. And then, obviously, as the seasons progressed and the audience got older, it catered to a more older, still kid audience.
And as far as I can tell, it is by design.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you did any research on this, by which I mean if you read the Wikipedia page on this movie. But it does feature a quote from George Lucas himself, who says that this film straddles the line between PG and PG-13.
Yes, it definitely does.
Yeah, which is kind of by design because he felt that that's kind of what Star Wars is.
Yeah, that's true. Because, like, all the prequels are PG-13, aren't they?
I'm not sure. I have a feeling that Revenge of the Sith is a bit higher, but that might just be in the
Attack
Czech
of the
Republic.
Clones is a 12. I'm not sure if The Phantom Menace might be a PG or might be a 12 as well. This is in the UK. There's no PG-13 here. And I think, don't quote me, but I think from memory of the VHS box of Revenge of the Sith I had, I think it might be a 15. Because, a lot of people get killed visibly.
A lot of kids get killed.
A lot of kids get killed. You see heads rolling.
Yeah.
You see people pleading for their lives. There's someone that dies in childbirth.
Someone burns to... Well, almost to death.
Almost to death. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And gets all of his remaining limbs chopped off.
Yeah. But Star Wars is in a weird spot that no matter what the age rating is always for kids.
Yeah, it's a bit of a special beast.
Yeah.
Although I think that Revenge of the Sith by itself was the first 15+ only film in the Czech Republic.
Really?
They made that age rating specifically for that movie.
Wow.
I remember that vividly because I read that in a newspaper, in a children's newspaper.
Children's news. Fair enough, I suppose. Just thinking, like, while watching this film, it made me realise that when I first watched it was before I'd watched the show. That was and this is only the second time I've seen this film. Rewatching it a couple of days ago, I realised that the team behind Clone Wars, they actually knew what they were doing the whole time. I think, because it all fits.
Other than the janky voice acting.
Oh god, and the animation at times.
At times. I mean, speaking of animation, it was a little bit of a mixed bag, but
yeah.
At some points I was actually really impressed by what it looked like.
Should we, because I want to talk about specifics on animation, so should we just do a plot recap?
Yeah, let's quickly get through the plot.
So
isn't that much to it.
What is this film about? You can probably sum it up in a couple sentences.
Basically, Jabba the Hutt's son, Rota the Hutt, gets kidnapped by Dooku, and Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Anakin's very, very new Padawan, Ahsoka, go to save him. That's kind of it. Yeah,
so they can, get an alliance with the Hutts and be able to send their armies through space.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dooku is manipulating the whole thing,
Yeah, he's playing both sides.
Yeah, he's playing heroes on both sides.
Whoa.
Well, he is kind of playing Asajj.
Yeah.
So she's a kind of a hero on the other side.
I would say Asajj Ventress in this film does not strike me as the same Asajj Ventress we would later get.
No, she was probably kind of half-baked at this point. Yeah, Asajj Ventress is there. She's a Dark Jedi, a Sith assassin, whatever she is.
Yeah. At this point, the 2003 Clone Wars movie was still canon when this film came out. So, I think it's a continuation from that. Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, that's mostly the plot. There are some more shenanigans involved. There's a little bit of Padme. She gets some stuff to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Halfway through this film, I was just thinking, like, why is there so much film left? What else is going to happen? Like, because, I mean, the last half wasn't the quickest paced.
Yeah, I have to say, probably part of the reason why I was so pleased with this film was that I sped up the latter half of the film in order to not make you wait that long.
Oh,
but
I was about to say that's the quickest 40 minutes of my life.
But I do have to say that the last time I watched this film, which would have been like 10 years ago, I do remember getting fairly bored around the time that they get back to Tatooine.
Oh my god. And Tatooine looks like shit.
Yeah, well, the sand looks pretty bad, but the shots when they are looking at like the night sky or the setting sun, those.
Oh my god! Yeah, when the sun was setting, it was beautiful.
But I do have to agree that the latter half of the film looks worse than the first one.
Do you know why? Because I think they put all the budget into the Battle of Christophsis.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the Battle of Christophsis at the start of the film. That battle, I think, is actually the largest on-screen battle we see in Clone Wars. Because I was, like, looking at it, and you see, like, loads of clone troopers and loads of droids at the same time. And you don't see that during the show that often. You normally see, like, maybe 20 at a time.
Yeah.
Or, like, maybe, like, a load of droids from a big distance. But, I mean, it was, like, a massive battle for the show. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like quite interesting. And I thought the space battle with all the acclimators, that looked awesome.
Yeah, sadly we didn't get much space stuff. There was a little bit, like a little dogfight. There was acclimators, I assume, are the thing that's bigger than an Architens and smaller than the thing I can't remember.
Do you mean Venator? Yeah. The acclimators are the troop transport ones. You see those first in Attack of the Clones.
Oh, these ones.
Yeah.
The gunships.
The gunships? No, those are LE-ATs.
The ones with slidey doors?
Those are LE-ATs.
Oh. Well, never mind that.
The acclimators are the huge ones. You know at the end of Attack of the Clones, when all the clones are going onto the spaceships to go
the
to
ones
war?
with one tower.
Yes, those are acclimators, yeah.
Okay. I was wondering what those were.
Yeah, I always like acclimators. You don't see them very often. I know some people hate them, but I think they're cool.
They probably hate them because they hate the entire Clone Wars era.
Yeah, they hate them because they ain't them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do have to agree that fight was quite something else. Like, and it was like full of like little stuff, like dynamic, really actiony shots, like following.
Yeah, I thought
following clones out of like the trenches, and little cool things
really
like Cody CQCing like 5 droids.
Yeah, it was really well directed, I think. And one thing I thought was really kind of interesting is that you actually see 212th Attack Battalion clone troopers. You see clone troopers with orange markings on them, and I never noticed that.
Are they the guys from the Gendy Tartakovsky show?
No, they're the people from they're Cody's lot. You know, in Utapau.
Yes.
Yeah, and you actually see them with the orange markings in the Battle of Christophsis, and I never knew that before. Because like all of the 501st at this time had just white armor. Apart from I think when Rex is being a jet trooper guy, you see a couple clones with blue markings on them as well for 501st, which is I got quite excited about that. But...
Yeah, they also. I forgot like how much texture there was to like everything, especially the troopers. Like I guess I kind of got accustomed to, I kind of assumed that they would look like clones did in the movies, like super clean, like not a scratch on them. But no, they kind of looked up, like
these
paint
ones have
was coming
seen
off
some
them.
shit.
Yeah, there was like something that I noticed about so many things in this movie. Things just had texture. Like some things, like Yoda looked like a clay model almost at points.
I think the aesthetic and it's very, very noticeable in the first few seasons of Clone Wars and obviously this movie, is that the animation style is trying to emulate like a painting. You can see that in all the backgrounds. They're like literally paintings.
I noticed that the most with the window in Palpatine's office.
Yeah.
That it looked like a 2D screensaver.
Yeah, and I think that was the style that they were going for in the movie. And in my opinion, it still retained that the whole way through the show, but it sort of refined the style to make it look more crisp and nicer.
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, the visual references for this movie were number one, anime, and which is especially obvious with Ahsoka. Look at those eyes. And two, Thunderbirds, actually.
Whoa, I love Thunderbirds.
But you hate the live-action one.
I do hate the live-action one.
Which was made by Universal, I think?
It was made by Universal. But the original was a ITV, I think. The Thunderbirds is great in my opinion. And is that an actual influence behind this film?
That's what the Wikipedia says.
Maybe it's because...
Apparently it's called the Super Animation or Super Marionettation.
Yeah, because they're with marionettes, Thunderbirds.
But it also sounds like Super Mario.
It's from the 60s, so it's a bit before. But yeah, you could probably... some of the walking animations of like the clones in this film are a bit like McClunky, so maybe they look like puppets. They're flesh puppets.
Yeah, like strand casts.
Oh god. Though
everyone in this movie is a strand cast.
Yeah, where's my Snoke origin story for this film?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. It's though one thing that I never really understood about the way the models were made for the clones, the face model, it doesn't look like Tamara Morrison. It just doesn't look like his face.
I mean, you could say that bloody no one looks like their movie counterparts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that Anakin looks like what's his face?
Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. Obi-Wan definitely doesn't look like Ewan McGregor. And just goddamn look at the Moai head that is Dooku.
Yeah, oh my god, I love Dooku head.
Yeah, triangular Dooku is best Dooku, but I don't think you can accuse anyone of looking like their movie self.
Yeah, also Yoda looks very weird. I remember I used to hate how Clone Wars Yoda looked, and then Rebels Yoda happened, and I had a newfound appreciation.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because we were exposed to Clone Wars Yoda for a much longer time. Yeah. I agree. I did not like most of the designs back then. Because everything is very angular, very, very accentuated.
Very stylized. Like
stylized.
The clone helmets don't look like that. I was about to say in real life, but... Star Wars is my life!
And I think that the weirdest thing about any design is Jabba's chin.
Oh my, yeah, why is it off-center? I never understood that. Like, I don't remember Jabba having that friggin' type of chin.
Also his nose is very mismatched.
Wonky.
Yeah. Which is cool. I like that everything has like little imperfections.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's I mean,
it's like one of the reasons why a lot of sad, angry people much prefer stormtroopers to clones. That it's partially that stormtrooper armor was like made individually, and so they have like fingerprints on them, and some of them are misshapen. Whereas there was literally not a single live-action clone armor made for the prequels, so all of them were identical and CGI.
Yeah, it's sad. I would like, if clones get reintroduced in any new canon material, live-action material, I want to see a live-action clone trooper. I really do. As I said, I would unironically clap.
Technically, we have seen Rex in Return of the Jedi, but I know that's not what
I've said that. I got into a massive Reddit argument about that, and some people still refuse to accept that was Rex.
I mean, even if it's a massive retcon, and for about 20 years it definitely wasn't Rex.
Yeah, but it is now, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I'm sure that he had a name and a family in Legends.
Yes, he definitely did. And I saw people like going, he's called this, he's called Quimbalo Mbolo To, and he is an important character. I don't know.
What I would hate the most if his name was Ben Olrand, because that's one of the names that rebels get given in the Battlefront games, and Ben Olrand is the rebel that always killed me. It's literally the one time that a bot had more kills than me. It was Ben Olrand.
Do you remember how Battlefront 2, the new one that is, all the rebels have the same friggin' face.
I did not know that. Fun fact, actually, I managed to download the second game yesterday, and I got it working on my Ghetto OS computer. But to make it run at least on like more than 20 FPS, I had to lower resolution to like 20% of what it's meant to be. So I literally can't see anyone's face.
It's gonna T-pose. That's what it's gonna do in the end. It's gonna be such low resolution.
I don't think that's how that works.
It goes back to the base model.
Oh, so resolution goes back up, but any animation leaves.
Animation goes as well, yeah. Well, yeah. You know what was a weird animation in this film?
Do tell.
When Ahsoka and Anakin were being Solid Snake.
Ah, yeah. When they were under
a cardboard
box and ran into a droideka somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they were looking in front of each other like 2 seconds before and there was nothing there.
Yeah, weird times. I do want to address, actually, one thing that Ahsoka says that I think is pretty abhorrent, even for this film, which we are being... It's Sky Guy.
I was gonna say... I mean, my biggest thought about this is she was raised in a temple. Where did she learn to have attitude?
Yeah, from Plo Koon.
Is that... I know that he was the one who brought her to the temple, but I don't think that Plo Koon has much attitude either.
True.
Although who knows what he's mouthing off under that breathing apparatus of his.
Yeah, he could just be, ragging off bloody Yoda and Yarl Poof and bloody some other people I can't remember the name of.
Saesee-Tiin.
Oh, Saesee-Tiin, yeah.
Yeah.
Aegon Kolar.
Or what's the snake man with the big beard?
Oppo Rancisis.
Oppo Rancisis.
Why do I know that?
Fun fact: Oppo Rancisis and Yarl Poof were on the Jedi Council in High Republic times.
Really? That old? Jesus Christ.
They're super old.
Wow. Was Yoda on the council at that point?
I'm pretty sure he was still the leader of the council back then.
Ah, yeah. I remember when I said it a couple episodes ago that Yoda was the Grand Master of the council, and you said I was dumb. No, you didn't say I was dumb.
No, I just didn't think that such a post exists, but yeah. Grandmaster is the oldest and most respected on the council.
So that means Yoda's older than Oppo Rancisis, as far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah. I mean...
Where's Yaddle?
Technically, that was never established. We just know that Oppo Rancisis was there. He could still be older.
That's true, actually, yeah.
We have not seen
What if Oppo Rancisis was the Prime Jedi?
Oh, what if you're saying that he was to Tython?
Yeah, he was the first Jedi.
Oh my god.
Or would that be better to be Yarl Poof? No, Coleman Trebor. Coleman Trebor was the first Jedi. He was the first ever Jedi, and he got fucking headshotted by Jango Fett on Geonosis. And...
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, I'm locked in the Eternal Combat with the Zajiran right now. Okay, Eternal
not for a couple
combat
seasons left. Couple seasons
later. I came back through the World Between Worlds.
Makes sense, because that's how it works.
I have grey temples now, by which I mean several temples full of grey Jedi. I'm ready to overthrow Trump's ascendancy.
Oh, God. I did write for, in relation to the Sky Guy, in my notes, I literally did write, Sky, in capital letters, Sky Guy, cringe. So, and then I wrote underneath, don't get snippy with me? What does that mean?
I don't know, but apparently it was such a good line that he kept calling her Snips even after he became Darth Vader.
He called her Snips as Darth Vader.
In internal monologue, to be fair.
So that is cringe.
But in the book Lords of the Sith,
no, not in Lords of the Sith.
It is in Lords of the Sith. While Darth Vader, the big scary bad man, is fixing a radio with his bare hands. Well, droid
his
hands. Robot hands. He is having flashbacks to stuff, and he goes like, Snips. Where have you ended up?
That's yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
to be
I
fair,
don't like that.
to be fair, that book is meant to be like at the end he finally purges any last bits of Anakin within him. So
Yeah, until
but
they
still.
sort of retcon it in every single Darth Vader comic.
Yeah, well, it was one of the very first books. You can't blame them for trying to make something canon.
True. I guess, yeah. I guess it did bring more like Cham Syndulla stuff into canon too.
Indeed, it did. He is one of the main characters
Right.
of that book. Technically, one of the antagonists,
Yeah.
I guess, because they're trying to bring Vader down. Not to be confused with Vader Down, which is a comic.
I thought you were gonna say dance move.
It probably is a dance move in Kinect Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I wanna dance, do that dance move to the Han Solo song.
That's literally the only song that anyone knows.
It
Probably
is.
because it was featured in The Big Bang Theory.
Was it?
And that doesn't make me chuffed.
Oh god, that makes me want to. I'm trying to think of any Auntie Donna title that is remotely about ending oneself, but I can't.
You could just say that it makes you want to start a bikey war.
Yeah, Spiky War, indeed.
You want to put anyone who came up with that in handcuffs. Sorry, I promised that I wouldn't do this, didn't I?
Oh, I've got it in my head now. I've spent months trying to get Bikey Wars out of my head. Now it's back.
I'm gonna edit it
well.
at the end of the episode. Maybe.
Um,
Anyway, on the topic of Sky Guy, at least I'm fairly sure that they toned this down fairly quickly.
I don't think she ever says Sky Guy ever again.
I'm fairly sure she does, but not like past season 2.
Yeah. I also think they animated Ahsoka's face very strangely in this movie.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a bias, but she looked a little anorexic to me. She had like a weirdly
Bias?
too big a face in comparison to her body, and yeah, she smiled a bit strange. And also it weirded me out how high-pitched her voice was.
Yeah.
I know that this is the youngest that we've ever seen her, barring, flashbacks to Plo Koon finding her. And I'm probably already used to Rosario Dawson as her voice.
Just
But
contrast Sky Guy with the Ahsoka that chops someone in half with a bell. That's the same Ahsoka you all know and love.
Well, there are how many, 20 years between those events?
Oh, imagine if she had the lightsaber to the magistrate's throat and it was like, "Tell me, where is Sky Guy?
Oh no. Now you are stinky.
Where is R2E?"
She never said that.
She
did
says R2E all the friggin' time in this film. I
Oh
didn't
my
write it down
God.
in my notes because I didn't know how I would spell R2E. But Ahsoka does also she pulls a Buster Keaton on Anakin during the whole sneakathon part, with the barrel droids.
Oh yeah, which I was convinced were the same droids from Ahsoka's Walkabout, but they totally aren't.
They're the same. You see one of those droids in the Death Watch base thing on that snowy planet. You know that R2 had to repair so the Death Watch guys can kill them again. And then they do a droid rebellion.
I don't know because I haven't seen Clone Wars since it aired.
It's the first episode with Bo-Katan.
But I trust you. It's also vaguely similar to the droid that walks by as Han Solo and the rest walk into
in the
Mascanala's
Force
castle.
Awakens.
Yeah, but only vaguely.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It definitely does remind me of that.
Yeah, they look fairly similar from the front.
Why were they hiding under the thing? I just don't understand.
How else would you sneak through or hide and let them walk past you?
I don't know. Yeah,
Which is still a bit strange. They were literally in the middle of the bridge. Wouldn't they push them away or blast the thing so that they get passed through?
Yeah, I know. It's And also,
Yeah,
like,
well, it's a
Lo-
kids thing.
It's a kids thing, but lots of droids like just come out the ground in this film. Like at the very end, like the Magna Guard, they just like come out the friggin' rock.
Yeah, that they were like perfectly hidden in that very specific place.
Yeah, it's like
It's
how?
strange. Yeah, same with the construction droids or whatever they were in the bit that we were talking about. Which I guess that they were meant to be kind of like mines, but first of all,
yeah.
why?
It's the hand mines from that Doctor Who episode.
A little bit, yeah, where you see Davros as a little kid in Space World War One.
Yeah, just replace baby Davros with Ahsoka, and the Doctor with Anakin, and you're set.
I would watch that.
What if the Doctor becomes a bad guy?
And
Ooh,
isn't that...
Would you watch a Doctor Who series where the antagonist is a future incarnation of the Doctor?
I probably would, and I probably can, because I'm pretty sure that already exists.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure that happened in Classic Who.
No, not counting the that one was a possible incarnation.
I see. Timey-wimey.
It's called like
stuff.
the Valcor or something. I can't remember.
Valjean?
The Jean Valjean.
Valorant?
The Valorant or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Ow!
I think it was Tom Baker era.
That makes sense. That might be why he was put on trial.
Oh,
Trial of the Time Doctor. I don't know.
I forgot the whole trial.
Time Doctor.
Trial of the Time Doctor.
That's an arc in my completely original series, Dentist Witch, exactly?
The Dentist Witch.
And also, speaking of Buster Keaton, it felt a lot like one of those old sketches, how Anakin just happened to stand exactly in the spot where that wall...
No, that's
with a
what I
hole in
meant
it.
by Buster Keaton.
Oh, sorry, then we just switched to a different silly thing that happened.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, that's what I meant by... Yeah. I was like, where did that wall come from?
It's a very good question. I
It's
don't
just
think...
there.
Well, for a bit it's not, and then it just appears, I think.
Welcome to kids animation.
Yeah. Sometimes, things just appear out of nowhere to serve the plot.
Yeah, these things happen. But it was a fine sequence. Obi-Wan commits a war crime.
Feigning capture?
Yeah, feigning surrender.
Mm.
Which Anakin does in the Siege of Mandalore. There's a lot of parallels with the Siege of Mandalore.
There's a lot of war crimes in Clone Wars.
There are a lot of war crimes, yeah.
I watched a video which is like a supercut of all the war crimes in Clone Wars, and it's long.
It's the entire runtime of Clone Wars.
Basically. I mean, the existence of malevolence and stuff,
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. But the Scottish CIS general was interesting.
Yeah.
But
His name is General Loathsome.
Really? Fucking hell. Star Wars names, I swear to God.
He's voiced by the same voice actor that voiced Zero the Hutt.
Really? Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was a bit strange.
Zero the Hutt is a different... Oh my God. But I was going to say about...
The General?
The General. Like, on the Battle of Christophsis, I think it's interesting that the Separatist generals are aliens. They're not droids. Like, you have the Scottish one, General Loathsome, and then you have Admiral Trench up in space during, the Cat and Mouse, that episode, which takes place before this movie.
Yeah, just before, right?
I think it takes place just before, and then it's either this movie or Hidden Enemy, or Hidden Enemy takes place after the movie. I can't remember.
Also, fun fact, back when the movie was 4 episodes, and they just glued them together.
Oh yeah, because they did that.
Yeah, the introduction of Ahsoka was meant to come out after the whole Son of Jabba stuff. It was meant to be a prequel.
Huh.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what? So they were going to do the whole...
They were going to do a whole arc with Ahsoka and only then show us how she got to become Anakin's Padawan.
I knew the bloody Clone Wars has a really strange timeline. But why? Why would they do that? I mean, they didn't do it, but...
I think that the point might be that sometimes, like in syndication, episodes come out of order anyway, so why release them in a particular order? I mean, if they made it that way, they might just design it more so that it makes sense, whether you know who she is or not.
I think release order as it currently is already makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily need to see all of these in sequence. Like, most of the stuff that happens is fairly unrelated. Yeah, very good recaps.
This recap was the length of a normal Star Wars movie crawl.
Yeah, except it wasn't a crawl, it was Wolf Lauren's narration over just a supercut of stuff that's happening. Which cool. I have to say, that should just be the way they are made.
Yeah, I would like it if the voice actor for Wolf Lauren would just read every crawl for me. Because I like to read the Star Wars crawls in his voice now.
Let's speak.
Oh god! Even that doesn't make it any better.
I mean, it would at least make one redeeming quality.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah. It would just make everything better. Like, I know that it's iconic at this point, but who wants to read a crawl? Like, if you take too long reading it, it's like too slanted and too high up. It's very high to read anyway.
I don't think they're too hard.
Well, I read fairly slowly, foreign and all, and like. Just look at the way that it was here. It would also make it look more like a old-timey serial.
Yeah.
And it would just make every movie start out like in a much more hype way. I think
they might do that sort of thing in future because I don't think there will be crawls for future Star Wars movies. They didn't do it for Rogue One, and a load of people were like, "Oh my god, sacrilege!" Well, I think that was a good thing. It did ground. It did break new ground. I don't care what you say. You can't complain that it didn't do something, and then complain that it's too safe. I mean, but whatever. And then
technically, Clone Wars technically didn't have a crawl earlier than Rogue One by like 8 years.
That's true. Oh my god, 8 years between Rogue One and Clone Wars.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
You know what blew my mind even more? That Clone Wars came out before Avatar.
I assume the movie Avatar.
The James Cameron one. I know that they're completely unrelated, but it's just weird that Avatar just seems like something that happened ages ago and hasn't been, relevant since. But Clone Wars has kind of always been there.
Well, it was a TV show.
Yeah.
I do want to say that the Battle of Teth in this film as well, I just like to talk about relevance. The Battle of Teth is one of the best action sequences in the entire show. Counting the movie, I mean. Yeah. I was just thinking that.
Well, ironically, Battle of Teth was the bit that I remembered most fondly, kind of.
Yeah.
But I think I liked it a little bit less this time.
Really?
Mostly because I was just so blown away with the Christophsis one.
Yeah, Christophsis one was cool. But I thought the Battle of Teth one was like Point the Hawk, in D-Day, scaling up a mountain, a cliffside. It's pretty cool. The ATTEs get some good service.
Yeah. And Ahsoka standing on the face of the ATTE is still iconic as hell.
Yeah, but that driver is now going to be arrested by the FBI.
Is she wearing a skirt?
I think she is wearing a skirt.
I mean...
That clone is going to jail for a long time.
Technically, that clone is younger than her.
Oh, that is true. He's probably 10 years old at the most.
Yeah. And Ahsoka is... We're not going to go down that road. I'm just going to say that Ahsoka is older than I thought, or Anakin is younger than I thought. Because they're only 5 years apart.
Ahsoka is like 13... And Anakin is going to be...
I think he's 19 in this film, actually, yeah. Which would make Ahsoka like 14-ish.
But this movie does not take place at the very start of the Clone Wars, because Anakin, at this point, has been knighted, and he's also grown his hair. So I would say that this film might take place halfway through the first year of the Clone Wars. That's my guess.
it's possible. I just gotta say, like, this look for Anakin, probably like peak Anakin.
I prefer his costumes later on in the show. That's my opinion.
Yeah, costumes probably, but like in comparison to like episode 2 or
what the movies?
Probably,
yeah.
yeah. Although, the best other than that picture that I sent you earlier today, where he looks less so like episode 7 Luke, more so like Force projection Luke from episode 8.
Yeah.
But like better.
Does Darth Vader shave?
Vader? I don't think he has anything to shave. I'm pretty sure all hairs on him got burned off.
Well, in the special edition, they had to CG his eyebrows away.
Yeah. Which makes it canon that he does not have any hair left.
You heard it here first, folks. Darth Vader has no pubes. Okay, you can cut that out. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to.
Oh, no.
This is going to live on with you forever. Also, apparently it hasn't still not been established how he got that big dent in his head. The only piece of information about it that we have is that George Lucas once said that he slipped in the shower.
Oh, what, the scar?
Yeah, the big like dent in his head.
Dent?
That scar. He kind of looks like a cracked egg.
Oh, what, Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does look like a cracked egg.
Yeah, George Lucas said that it's because he slipped in the shower.
In the space shower. I love that.
Yeah. In a Bacta tank, I guess.
Yeah, it's canon.
It's canon. It's what is it? Is it G canon or L canon?
That's G canon because it's George canon.
George canon, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you were right. Ahsoka is wearing a skirt, but also leggings. So
yeah, maybe George Lucas is going to jail.
He kind of should.
Oh God.
For killing our childhoods.
I jest.
Yeah,
I hope you jest.
I jest. I know full well about that song, that very bad song about what George Lucas did to our childhoods. And
that was popular when this film came out. Around 2008, that song was very popular. And it makes me cringe so much.
People are bad.
They are.
Yeah.
But talking about people, one of the clones that gets mentioned by name in the landing sequence at Teth is Ridge, who survived the entirety of the show only to get killed by Darth Maul in that hallway scene, which is pretty cool.
I think we should keep track of this. Like, spoiler alert, we may or may not be planning to do the entire Clone Wars show.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of clones that appear here and there, and you can sort of track their journey. We should kind of make that our thing. Like
that'd be nice.
Like a clone codex or
Clone Codex.
Clone Chronicles.
Ooh, yeah. Clone Watch.
So every time there is a random, where did I hear the name Jesse before? We know exactly where we've seen them, and we know exactly what cool stuff they did, and which Jedi they saw die.
Yeah, true. Oddball is also mentioned by name. He's in the Whitey Torrents with Obi-Wan, flying down at Teth.
Yeah, that's one that I wrote down myself.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the Zygerian is just very aggressive.
Oh no.
He's back. Somehow the Zygerian returned.
He's back.
With using dark slaver magic.
Yeah. But Oddball appears in the Battle of Coruscant in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, lovely.
So, it was in the Arc 170s that flew behind Anakin and Obi-Wan while they were going towards the silent hand, the invisible hand.
Yeah. But speaking of the Battle of Coruscant, the phrase, "this is where the fun begins,"
first mentioned by Ahsoka.
Yeah. So Anakin was quoting her.
Yeah.
He was probably thinking of her as she was on her way to Mandalore or on Mandalore.
True. I would like to have a new novelization of Revenge of the Sith with
where Ahsoka is featured but is a cyborg.
Yes, obviously. No, a Mecha Ahsoka.
Whoa.
Not as in the Holy City of Islam. As in, as in a giant robot.
Yes. But she's also about 5 years older, so that clone doesn't have to go to jail.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I meant like the novelization of Revenge of the Sith is meant to be very, very good.
I have not read any of them, but I think that the novelizations of Star Wars are a fairly okay quality as opposed to many other novelizations.
Yeah, apparently
like
most
for
of them
example,
are okay,
the Metal
but...
Gear game novelizations.
Yes, the one where they replaced the gun on the cover with his fists.
Yeah, and they are literally a different story than the game.
Yeah, he's called Solid Snake is a member of the Snakes, which get their name from their mind control snake powers or something. Something to that effect.
It's wild.
Which is like, what the fuck?
But less dumb than the actual story.
Wow. That says something. But what I meant, though, is that apparently the Revenge of the Sith novelization is like god tier. So, got that going. It's going to be some Clone Wars... Oh, no, there have been some Clone Wars short stories released. But Star Wars Explained wasn't too fond of them. Because most of them are just retellings of episodes we've already seen. Which is a bit disappointing.
Yeah. I looked at least on one of them because it was one of the very few appearances of Rota the Hutt. But yeah, it was just a retelling of about 11 episodes of the show.
Yeah.
But it really weirded me out because like the format of its cover was exactly the same as From a Certain Point of View.
Really?
Yeah, like a big central picture and like names of authors on the sides.
Oh.
I guess they just do that for anthologies.
Maybe they should have done this From a Certain Point of View for the Clone Wars. They could have that ATTE driver.
No, we don't want that.
They could have had the clone that punches the droid on Christophsis. They could have had the clone on Teth that whose blaster jammed, and then he like went up to the droids and started like fighting them, and just like got so ignobly like shot down like a dog.
We could get a point of view of that couple in Zero's bar who's viciously making out behind a pillar.
No, I really, I didn't see that. I was looking at the when Zero was talking to Padme. There's just like this dancer behind in the shadow, just like aggressively jamming out to the beat, and I was just like laughing my head off when I was... I think that the most scantily clad Twi'leks that I've ever seen were in this movie. Yeah.
Like the one in Jabba's palace, she had like the most skin-tight and almost skin-color outfit. And the one in Zero's hideout, she was just in the shadows, but it's fairly possible that she was just straight up naked.
I don't think she was
silhouette.
straight up naked.
But why did we only see her silhouette then?
Well, I mean... I don't know. I can't speak to what Zero wants.
Well...
He was playing... Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
Based on what his Bith band was playing, he's all about laying down some smooth jizz.
Some smooth jizz indeed. I was saying that we were one step away from having a Bith Blues Brothers, but unfortunately it's too far.
Yeah.
Another day, maybe. Can have
Maybe.
the Biff Blues Brothers.
Speaking of Biff, the couple that was behind the pillar was one of them was a Biff, and the other one was I don't know what they're called, but they have like weird triangular heads.
Whoa, like Phineas from Phineas and Ferb.
No, the other way.
What?
Like if you face them, you see the triangle.
Oh, I don't quite.
They have like big bulging eyes.
Yeah.
One of them is a super close up in the Mos Eisley Cantina scene.
Oh, I know exactly the one you're talking about. That's fucking weird. I don't know where either the Bith or whatever that thing's mouth is. So...
Well, you know on the Bith because the jizz instruments are going there.
Yeah, but like you never see the mouth because they're always.
You do in this movie. They do just look like little buttholes.
Oh, I don't want to see a Bith butthole face. It's like with the annoying orange, but just on a Biff's face. They just transpose George Lucas's lips onto a Biff while they're making out. I'm glad I put that thought into your head.
This is the filthiest episode that we've ever made.
I don't think it is. We haven't even talked about balls yet.
I don't think we even have to. I don't think there were any kicks or anything. Is there there is a clone called Kicks, though, isn't there?
Yeah, but not in this movie. I don't think. You're probably there in the background somewhere, but yeah, not.
He might be in the 501st.
Well, he is in the 501st, but he's a medic in the 501st.
Oh, is he the one who survives until sequel trilogy times?
Indeed, he is. He is with the Crimson Corsairs band, his pirate group.
He's in Grogu's pirate ship.
Grogu's pirate ship, indeed. And that's it's that's a strange story. I think it's called Crimson Corsair and the Treasure of Count Dooku.
Ooh. Do they go down to Sereno?
I don't think so. They just raid a ship, and on that ship is Kix in cryostasis, like Lister from Red Dwarf.
Nice. Does he have any sort of a form of life that evolved from his loath cat?
Yes, the Zygerians.
Oh my god.
I would like to see a Zygerian just like a...
Just Jar Jar Binks, but it's a Zygerian.
Oh my god. I don't think Cat is not the same as Jar Jar Binks.
If Jar Jar Binks was gay, he would be Cat.
If Jar Jar Binks had style, he'll be...
More, that's more like it, yeah. If Jar Jar Binks had at least like half the brain of a human.
Or if Jar Jar Binks was stupider.
I don't think that Cat... Actually, no, you might be right.
Yeah,
Cat is probably dumber than Jar Jar. He just has style.
Yeah. He only knows what looks good on certain days, but...
Yeah. I need to rewatch Red Dwarf.
Me too, it's a great series.
But so is Clone Wars.
It is.
And ironically, the movie. Or oddly enough.
Oddly enough, indeed. Oddball enough. And you know what else?
So that's how the tangent began.
I was going to say, the hero ship of this film, the Twilight, is the worst. I hate that ship. It's ugly. It literally is a space fan.
But it's so iconic, though. It sticks with them for so long, for some reason.
No, only season 1.
Really?
Yeah, it was in the Malevolence arc.
I would have sworn that it stuck with them for, like, ever.
Really? Huh.
I mean, again, I only saw Clone Wars once.
It might have been
I wouldn't know, but...
It might be in the Blue Shadow Virus ones, but I think that's season 1 too. I can't remember.
I'm fairly sure that Padme flies it at some point, but that's probably in Malevolence.
I think that was Malevolence. I just don't like it. I think the only thing I like is the hologram medical droid on it, who says like, and if you have any more inquiries, go talk to an actual doctor. It just made me laugh.
I'm fairly sure that's a reference to Star Trek, The Next Generation, because they have a doctor who's a hologram.
Really?
I think so. I don't know. I don't watch Star Trek.
Neither. Do I look like the kind of person that watches Star Trek? Do
I look like a Trekkie to you? No, I'm a man of culture.
Of Star Wars, the Clone Wars 2008, baby.
That is the real culture.
Yeah. Talking about culture, I think we should talk about Jabba's Punky Muffin himself, Rota the Hutt, and how he got COVID.
Did you have to date us so damn much?
I feel like, how... Punky Muffin and how he got Spanish influenza.
That's better.
Now it's not dated.
No. It's more than 100 years ago at this point, I think, so that's fine now.
It's not a spoiler.
No. He's just sick for some reason until he isn't.
I think they poisoned him.
It's possible because, as soon as he took that pill, he burped and then he was fine.
Yeah. It was weird because, like, the whole Dooku's plan... So he kidnapped Rota the Hutt, and then he went to Jabba, said, I'm going to help find Rota the Hutt. And then he's like, well, the Republic actually have Rota the Hutt, and they're going to kill him, and they're trying to get Asajj Ventress to get Rota the Hutt back. But they literally had Rota the Hutt already, so
it was
the only
not a good
reason
plan.
Anakin was able. Yeah, the only reason Anakin was able to get Rota the Hutt is because Asajj Ventress wanted to be able to have that protocol droid take a friggin' video of him saying, "I hate Hutts," so Anakin could be cancelled on Twitter for being racist.
Yeah. What are the odds of him saying that somewhere where they can film him? What on earth was that?
You notice
plan?
you notice on the hologram that they showed to Jabba, you could see both sides of the hologram.
Yeah, holograms never made sense. Holograms never made sense. Remember how in some scenes in the prequels, you can see that Jedi are sitting in their chairs as holograms, but when you cut back to their side, they're standing up?
Yeah, I think the hologram sort of, most of it's fake.
Maybe? Oh, is it like deep learning AI? It just finishes what what it thinks you look like and where you are?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. So, like, it looks like you're on a chair, or like how whenever someone's holding like the hologram transmitter, and they're holding it at like eye level and talking to somebody, and then like they appear on the other side on Palpatine's desk, and they look like they're looking up at Palpatine. And I think that's because the hologram system is judging where the hologram should be looking for the person receiving, whereas the person actually Does that make any sense?
It makes total sense. It makes absolute sense. I like this so much, what just happened right here, because like some podcasts, one could say lesser podcasts, would pick on this strand and then spend about 10 minutes talking about, this doesn't make sense, Star Wars is so dumb. Exactly. Whereas us, more specifically you,
intellectuals,
and this Nigerian on my right, just made a whole theory that makes literally 100% sense. So we're just being constructive here and not being toxic anti-fans or whatever.
Yay!
Yay for not being toxic.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
But
just let's pat ourselves on the back right here.
Yeah.
And pat the Nigerian on his back.
Indeed. I do find it's like the protocol droid that was filming it is quite a weird one as well, because he called the battle droids battle bots.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. That might be like their serial number or something. It could just be a lightsaber laser sword thing.
Oh, yeah, true. But also, what else is weird?
Yeah.
Is that when they find... So Anakin finds Rota the Hutt, they find Stinky, and then they find out that Asajj Ventress is there, and they just fought through 3 battalions worth of droids. And then you hear Anakin say, I think Count Dooku might have something to do with this. And we're like, come on! Of course you just fought through hundreds of battle droids. You've seen Asajj Ventress. Of course Dooku's something to do with it. They were doing this whole thing on the pretense that, these are some renegade droids. It's renegade battle droids. What?
I mean, isn't kind of the thing that anyone should be able to buy these?
I suppose so.
Because, the Trade Federation didn't make them. It was... Oh, did they?
No, the Trade Federation bought them from Geonosis. That's true.
They bought them from Geonosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's got to be a pretty... It's not a good time to be using battle droids, I would say, during the Clone Wars. It's okay... During World War II, let's say the Free Czech Army buys the same...
That's not really a thing.
Well, whatever. Let's say they did. Let's say they bought uniforms from the same people that made the Wehrmacht's uniforms. I mean, that probably wouldn't go down too well.
I mean, Czech troops probably would, because remember, we were annexed by Germany before the war.
And you were conscripted. That's why I said free. That's why I said the free. How there's a free Polish Air Force.
Oh, you mean the people who jumped ship to RAF?
To the UK or America and were fighting throughout the war, even though their country was taken over.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's why I said free Czech army, because I'm pretty sure that did exist. It's like there was the free Polish army.
Yeah, but, well, in some way, probably. Yeah, that would be a very bad look.
Yes. So that's what I mean. Like, why would... I don't know. I feel like Occam's razor, you see battle droids, you see Asajj Ventress.
I think that was just there to make sure that kids understand that Dooku is the big bad.
Yeah, probably.
Because we have to make some concessions or whatever. I don't know if that phrase makes sense, but this is for kids.
Yeah.
And even though it does straddle the line between PG and PG-13, like with those heads that just get rolled into Jabba's castle.
Oh my god, that was brutal for a kids movie.
Yeah.
You're like, just straight up decapitated heads of aliens.
That's probably why it was okay that it's not human heads.
Yeah, it would not fly if it was like a guy's head or something.
But first of all, that's racist. And second of all, speciesist.
Yeah.
But second of all, what? Head is a head,
Yeah. It's it different rules. It's the same reason why in The Mandalorian, like they're brutal to droids, like with the best spear or with whatever. Yet it's relatively gore free for humanoid species.
Yeah, and it's the same reason why some of the humor in the beginning of Rebels didn't work. For example, specifically in the pilot, where Agent Callus just is holding on to his dear life from like a pillar, and there's a stormtrooper doing the same underneath him and makes a snide comment, and Callus just kicks him in the head and sends him hurtling to his death.
Yeah.
That's the exact same kind of a joke that they would make in Clone Wars, except here it doesn't work because that's a human that just died and not a piece of machinery.
Yeah, it works better with droids. My favorite part is when the droid lieutenant is looking over the cliff at Teth, and he's like trying to see where they are, and then he falls down to his death at the very bottom of the cliff. And then you just see the other commander, like a couple seconds later, is like, "Come back, Lieutenant!" I just like... It reminds me of how in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when, that at the very end, there's like that really awesome pose, and then Mantis just gets hit in the head with a rock. And like 2 seconds later, Drax is like, "Mantis, look out!" Really off time. I just thought...
Yeah, that's...
I think
subverting like money shots like that's really funny. And
I think the droid humor is quite good in this movie, surprisingly.
It's hit and miss. They don't do it too much, I think.
They do it more in the show.
Of them. Well, possibly, but we might just be thinking that because there is more of the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Like this was the length of 5 episodes.
I think, yeah.
Which is like a quarter of a season. You kind of have, and since there's more time between the episodes, you kind of have to cram them up with more of everything.
Yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah,
whereas
here, like 3 jokes across the whole film, that was like an alright amount.
Yeah, it's very different in most ways to the rest of the show. So like the absence of frequent droid humor, as you just said, but also like Anakin leaves Rex behind on
Maybe
Teth.
that was just and Rex does say the mission comes first.
Which I was like, yeah.
I guess that there was meant to be like sort of an arc for them, that Anakin was meant to develop a bond with them, because I don't think I'm pretty sure later he does have a bond with at least Rex, and here it's very professional. But that's probably because it's just like the very beginning of the war.
Yeah,
basically.
Although Anakin didn't want to leave Rex behind for quite a while. But Ahsoka
did he have the exact opposite arc then?
Yeah, Ahsoka made him leave. Yeah, literally, Ahsoka was egging on Anakin to leave Rex behind.
Which is a bit weird, because it's Ahsoka who was bonding with the troops, like, in this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. And also, he leaves R2 behind when he jumps onto that weird friggin' Mothra thing.
Yeah, that big dragonfly.
Yeah, the dragonfly.
That was a bit strange, but he knows that R2 can take care of himself.
Yeah.
He has probably seen him do the rocket jump thing.
The rocket jump, yeah. Oh, but I'm just looking at my notes, and my choice of wording is very appropriate, because just after Anakin abandoning Rex is that moment where, with Asajj Ventress, that you came up with the porno name for Asajj Ventress. Because it's when Obi-Wan Kenobi is dueling Asajj Ventress, and in a very weird shot for a kid's movie, Asajj Ventress takes off her skirt, wiggles around a little bit, and Obi-Wan raises an eyebrow.
And then calls her my darling.
It's like, what is going on? This is...
I had to replay that a couple times to see what the hell was going on. For research. I took a couple of screenshots as well. And for science. And it's really strange.
I don't understand why that happened.
It's probably something for the dads.
Oh god, it's weird.
How old is Obi-Wan? He's like in his 20s, isn't he?
Obi-Wan was 20-something in Phantom Menace.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, so it'd be in his 30s.
Very old for a Padawan.
No, it was quite young. He became a knight quite young.
Never mind that.
It's because remember, Anakin became a knight when he was 19. So,
well, Anakin is Anakin.
Yeah, he's the chosen one.
Yeah, one of the at least three.
Yeah, that duel between Asajj Ventress and Obi-Wan I think it was alright. I don't think it was the best thing, but for lightsaber duels, the duel between Dooku and Anakin at the end of the movie, I thought was actually pretty good. That
one was good, but I agree first off with that the one with Asajj wasn't that great, partially because it felt the animations felt really stiff, like they went really quickly from pose to pose, and also it felt like the backgrounds were lower res. There's
a lot of low res backgrounds in this movie, a lot of low res textures.
Yeah, low res textures, but not even in far in the background, literally just under Ventress. It's like the floor didn't finish loading yet. Yeah,
it's. Maybe they had a pretty bad rendering or something.
Dash rendering.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Obi-Wan flirting with Obi-Wan and Ventress. I never thought it was cool or whatever. I just thought it was weird.
Yeah, especially since she's meant to be with Quinlan Vos.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Obi-Wan's age, and it still lists his homeworld as Stu John.
Oh no, not Stu John! I hate that.
Yeah.
It's not cool. Oh, you know what was pretty cool and very 2008 though? That I completely forgot about this movie. Is when the clones were going up the cliff on Teth. The music was friggin' electric guitar music.
Yeah.
Which I completely forgot. Electric guitar music in Star Wars.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mismatch, but I thought that the music was actually really cool.
I thought it was cool, yeah. But
between the smooth jazz in Zero's hideout. Smooth jazz in the hideout.
Yeah. Jazz is a swear word in Star Wars.
I think that the jazz is also canon in Star Wars, but it's just a different kind of music. Don't quote me on that, though.
Don't quote you on the smooth jizz. But
you can quote me on the smooth jizz.
But yeah, bloody electric guitar music, which is interesting.
What a trip!
Yeah, and there was a Saving Private Ryan moment with Rex.
Which one was that exactly?
Rex being Tom Hanks, firing the pistol at the people before Obi-Wan came to the rescue and all.
Well, that's kind of his thing. pistols are kind of his thing.
No, but I mean when he was on the ground, like he was wounded.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Because he got bloody mind tricked, didn't he?
Yeah, he did by Ventress into trying to trick Anakin into like giving himself into Ventress.
And Anakin realized it was Rex was being mind tricked because he was informal.
My headcanon is that Rex was being mind tricked into doing that, but he had at least enough control over himself to...
Oh, what, like with the when he was Order 66 as well?
Well, yeah, but that was because he removed his chip, didn't he?
No, he removed his chip afterwards, remember?
Oh. Well, then it's canon. Then it's bloody canon. It was established way back in Clone Wars the movie that his bloody force of will is just so strong.
Yeah.
That's probably why he's refusing to die, at least until episode 6.
I don't think he died then.
Well, he probably lived at least like 2 years longer.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be pretty damn old at that point.
I mean, it is not established how long the acceleration lasts.
I always thought it just lasts forever. Like, whatever age Rex is, he'll be actually double it physically.
Possibly. I mean, in my head, it would like, slow down, kind of like Invincible or Superman. Like, they start out aging like regular people, but then they just slow down.
That's sort of a bit boring to me. I don't know.
Would that make him like 80 or 70? Around Jedi?
I think he'd be around 80 physically.
Mm.
Which is quite old.
What a cruel fate.
Yeah, but he was still pretty cool.
He was very cool.
I hated Rex when this movie came out.
And I'm pretty sure we both hated Ahsoka when this movie came out.
Yeah, apart from my friend who fancied her.
Yeah, well, what can you do with boys that age? That's just
boys are 8 years old, mind you.
It's just how we do.
8.
That's just how we do. Speaking of Ahsoka, though, I wasn't quite sure what the thing with whose Padawan she was meant to be, because like it is basically established that she was meant to be Anakin's, which
from
was
the start.
Which is meant to be like a plan from Yoda and Obi-Wan. But Obi-Wan still wanted a Padawan, right? Like
maybe he was playing the long game.
So he never wanted a Padawan to begin with.
He never wanted any Padawan, including Anakin.
That is true. You're not wrong.
He'll be like to Ahsoka. Wow, Ahsoka, you're like the Padawan I never had. Glares at Anakin. It's like, man.
Yeah. It was also weird that they kept calling her youngling since she's like 14. When does one stop being a youngling?
Yeah, but maybe younglings are that young. Or maybe she was just small. I don't know, because everything's so stylized, I can't tell if she looks young for her age, or if she looks her age.
I don't think she looks like a human 14-year-old. But then again, she's not human, so what do I know?
Yeah, bloody aliens. Maybe when they're 20, they turn into a giant. They turn into Jabba the Hutt, and then they turn into Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, and they shed their Leku every other year.
Every 3 years. So that's why we didn't see it during Clone Wars.
True. True. I mean, technically, only the bottom bits are Leku, and the top bits are something else. Nobody cares.
No, I can't even. There's like. Head tails.
I think both of them are head tails, and the one that go down are Leku, and the one that go up are still head tails, not horns.
Corran horns.
Clue horns.
Who's Clue horn?
Clue horn is a musical instrument.
Huh? Is it what is it from Star Wars?
Yeah.
Oh, I said that as a joke. Okay.
No, it's also one of the. It's like a central point of one of the stories from a certain point of view. The one that starts out being narrated by a Chandra fan, which is excruciating to listen to in the audio version.
Yeah, that's not fun. What isn't fun as well in this episode is the constant racism towards Stinky.
Yeah. Especially since it's possible that he was stinky because he was poisoned, or possibly just not fed properly.
Yeah, and also, like, just kept in a prison cell.
Yeah.
And
just dragged around by his tail.
Yeah, I thought it was really strange how they genuinely thought he was gonna die. Like, this is a kid's show.
I mean, plenty of people died.
Yeah, but, and then when they fixed Stinky, they gave him the meds. Ahsoka says, he's gonna live to stink another day. I was like, this is a living baby. Would you say that if it was a human baby? It's like, I mean, yeah, we just saved Rota, the baby human, from pancreatic cancer. He's gonna live to stink another day. It doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it?
No, I mean, if it's a stinky baby, it's a stinky baby. It doesn't matter if it's a hut, if it's a human, if it's a reek.
Reek as in Theon.
No, reek as in the big red lizard ball from the Geonosis Arena.
Oh, yes.
The thing that's not an Acklay and not a Nexu.
Yeah, the horny guy?
Yeah. Canonically, they are meant to be herbivores, but this one is red and angry because they fed him meat.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, Star Wars sometimes.
Well, sometimes you get herbivore reeks, and sometimes you get something that is good.
Yeah, it's like, did you know Nemoidians aren't actually meant to be green? They're only that color because they eat too much spinach. Star Wars fact number 107.
There is a species that changes the color of their eyes if they consume, I think, salt, or maybe some kind of a spice.
Wow.
And if their eye is a certain color, they're no longer viable partners, or desirable partners.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Dryden Voss, his face lights up when he's angry.
Is that real?
Yeah, remember in Solo?
No.
Did you watch that film, Voiter?
I did 2 years ago.
His face lights up when he's angry, and then like when he kills that guy at the very start of the film, his face like stops lighting up.
He only showed up like halfway through the film, didn't he?
Oh, like when he shows up, I mean, sorry. He kills that Imperial governor, and then his face like stops lighting up.
Governor.
Like his scars light up bright red. Well, not bright red, but
he probably has some implants in there.
Maybe. I thought it was like he was a near-human species.
I don't know. They did look like actual scars to me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not an arbiter of bloody Star Wars aliens anymore.
Anymore,
indeed. Back in my previous...
Oh, before the sequel trilogy, you knew everything there was to know about them, huh?
Yeah, now I just know that there's blob-headed alien number 5...
there's that
minions.
lady who goes roar.
Oh, that lady, yeah, the lady that goes oh, and the fuzzy minions in episode 7.
There's whatever Maskanada is.
Yeah, there's the Ujaba guys.
Ujaba. Wait, which ones are the Ujaba guys?
They've got some goggles, and they look like, I don't know. They're orange because all the friggin' aliens from the sequel trilogy are orange or brown.
That's a bit weird. There's Dr. Mandible and Fish Lady, Frog Lady.
They're not sequel trilogy.
Well, true. You're not wrong.
Because they're not. The sequel trilogy's alien design is one sort of group, I believe.
Well, there are those horrible fishmen who are at least grey.
Oh, what? Yeah, the one that appears in Rise of Skywalker.
And the sizzle reel for Cassian Andor.
Indeed. Oh, God. I'm going to get triggered when I see Cassian Andor and that fish species.
Well, you don't know. They might redeem them.
Maybe. What if they're really cool, I'll concede.
I mean, the Mandalorian kind of... I'm not going to say it redeemed that Force Awakens... alien. Just because it appeared in a thing that I like more doesn't mean that it redeemed.
What, the Constable Kuzo alien?
No, the jetpack kid.
Oh yeah, jetpack guy. Yeah.
Yeah, who went on to have his own adventures in heaven.
In heaven, Star Wars heaven. So what all the It's where all the younglings are, so, I mean...
Probably not, actually. Because,
Pardon?
you know, the only people who went to any sort of afterlife that we know about are the Jedi who didn't exactly adhere to the Jedi Code.
What, the ones that disappear?
Yeah, Qui-Gon onwards.
I think it is really interesting that
Actually,
George Lucas...
Scratch that.
Sorry?
Aunt Beru is canonically in some sort of afterlife.
What?
Yeah, there is a
What?
From a certain point of view in the very first one, there is one that's written from the perspective of Aunt Beru in some sort of afterlife.
Oh my god! I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. If I'm
Me
honest.
neither.
Because
I'm pretty sure I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, because I liked how George Lucas risked it by having Jedi in the prequel trilogy. When they died, they didn't disappear, and I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, it makes it pretty obvious they kind of strayed from the way.
Yeah. Do any Jedi that die, don't spoil anything for the High Republic for me apart from this, but do any Jedi that die in the High Republic disappear?
I'm fairly sure that they don't.
Interesting. So none of them become one with the Force. That's sad.
Yeah. Then again, Chirrut Imwe was with the Force, but didn't become one with it.
Yeah, because he wasn't, it's different, isn't it? To become one with the Force in the sense of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan is different than to be one with the Force in a physical way.
Yeah, it's not a living Force thing. It's more of a
cosmic
believe
Force.
In the Force. Yeah.
I never really understood the difference between living Force and cosmic Force.
It probably doesn't matter. It's probably already retconned.
Yeah, get retconned all the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's like how you mentioned Grey Jedi earlier, and I'm not the biggest fan of Grey Jedi as a concept.
Neither is what's his name? Kanan Jarrus, is he? Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. doesn't like Grey Jedi.
Of course, but it comes with the name, doesn't it? If you're a Freddy, you hate Great Jedi.
Whoa! Grey Jedi, not Great Jedi.
Sorry, I just misspoke.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. from Friends fame.
Freddie Prinze Jr. from Scooby-Doo 2002 fame.
Yes, indeed. He does not like Grey Jedi, and I 100% agree with him. And his reasoning is because if you are a Jedi, you adhere to the Jedi Code, and you are at light side. If you are a Sith, you adhere to the Sith Code and are dark side. You can be a light side user, not be a Jedi, be a dark side user, and not be a Sith. But you can't be in the middle and still be one of these two things. You can't be a Jedi and be in the middle. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't work.
Yeah, but speaking of the one in the middle.
Indeed. Are we moving on to that? Is it that time?
We can talk a little bit more about the Grey Jedi if you'd like.
No, I think I just sort of ranted on about it. I think it's okay.
To be honest, I don't have that much to say about them. I don't really care. I guess I agree with your and the other Freddy's stance that saying that is like, oh, I'm a grey vegetarian. I do eat meat, but I still call myself a vegetarian.
Yeah.
We exist.
I'm a grey vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian, but I'm just very bad at it. We exist.
Yeah, these ones. Yeah. Oh yeah, I am dead and I'm alive. We exist.
I'm a Star Wars fan and I hate Star Wars.
That's literally every Star Wars fan.
Or I'm a Star Wars fan and I actually like most Star Wars. We exist. Because it's true, I like most Star Wars.
And we are called On Air-Deraan. We like Star Wars, oddly enough. And since, this was kind of the holy grail of bad Star Wars, I'm pretty sure it still was.
Yeah,
and
this is shit tier Star Wars.
And we ended up kind of loving it, I think.
Yeah, I liked it on the whole. Apart from, I hate Commander Fox. Wish he was replaced with Fire at the end of the film. That's one of my few complaints.
I don't know either of the names you just said, but that's fine.
The commander of the Coruscant Guard at the end of the film who arrests Zero the Hutt. Zero the Hutt is Commander Fox. He's the one that kills Fives. Spoiler.
Aw, but yeah, I hate that guy too then. But yeah, the point was, if we ended up really liking this, now that we're moving on to Clone Wars the show, which, at least from memory, we both love.
Yeah, what are we going to think?
Well, I guess that's a question for the next episode.
Yeah.
When we're going to be talking about the episode Ambush.
Yeah,
or
I'm
perhaps
happy.
the first arc. We still haven't discussed that too well.
I think we should do Ambush is pretty much on its own, so...
I wouldn't be opposed to just going episode by episode, but we can still workshop that.
Yeah, I think when there's clear arcs, we should do the arc, maybe.
We'll
discuss as a later point.
Yeah, we can change that on a case-by-case basis if need be.
Yeah.
But that's a problem for a future On Air-Deraan.
Yeah, indeed. It's their problem now.
Yeah.
Future us.
Oh no, we're in the future now. It's our problem again.
My heart.
But let's postpone it for now and go back to the thing that we kind of started like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Speaking of Grey Jedi, someone who is allowed to be in the middle, the Bendu.
Bendu, indeed.
Let's talk about the best, the worst, and the, I don't know, of this folk movie, shall we?
Yeah. Well, it's just middling. It's not necessarily I don't know.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be middling. It's just a thing that isn't necessarily positive or negative. It's just a notable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to start with your light side, Freddy?
My light side would probably be the action of this movie, like the set piece battles. I really like the Battle of Christophsis, and I really like the Battle of Teth. I think the Battle of Christophsis tops it for me in this film. So I think it was really well shot. It looked pretty amazing. It's pretty brutal too. I mean, a lot of people die in that battle. Like a lot of people die.
Yeah, and even over the logos in the very beginning of the film, there was like calm chatter of them like, we're pinned down. We need medics.
We need reinforcements.
Medic.
Yeah, and that
Doctor.
You hear
Wait,
people
Heavy
dying.
wasn't there. Heavy wasn't there. He was not even an ARC trooper back then.
No, he was training probably at this point.
I'm fairly sure that that episode takes place after the movie.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
Actually, they become ARC troopers after the episode Rookies, don't they?
They become ARC troopers after the episode Rookies, but there's the episode Domino Squad, which takes place before Rookies, and maybe after this film.
Probably after this film. I'm fairly sure that the only thing that happens before this film is Cat and Mouse.
Yes, yeah.
Where Carrion Spike is featured, I'm pretty sure.
Or a similar ship in the same vein.
At the very least.
Yeah.
But, sorry, to come back to your topic. The action in this film was, for what it was, fantastic. I'm pretty sure that, like, even in the very last season of Clone Wars, like at the end of the Bad Batch arc, that big action scene in there, I'm pretty sure it pales in comparison to the Christophsis battle.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you see far more people, far more clones, far more droids in this battle, which I completely forgot.
Yeah,
it was that
but
big.
It's not just a volume thing, but it's like the shots that they chose for this, like it was so engaging in parts.
Yeah, it's definitely much better shots than the first season of the show.
Oh, definitely.
Like, you can tell that because it's a movie, they can spend more, or they decided to make it into a movie because it was originally going to be episodes.
Yeah.
They were able to spend more time on different things. Like, obviously, in the Clone Wars, the show, there are episodes dedicated to only battles. And, that is their focus, and they're pretty great, like the second battle of Geonosis. But, like, this movie is able to spend a lot of time on these engagements, and they look pretty cool.
And it's not just the, like, action that I noticed. Like, some very minor details, like, you know how like Anakin and Obi-Wan's armor is like made of different pieces.
Yeah.
I really like how they put like a lot of attention to like how they would move with all of them, like all of their like arm movements, which was like pretty subtle. I thought that they like really didn't have to animate them that much, but they did.
Considering a lot of the other stuff, they just didn't really animate.
Yeah. Well,
I noticed
you
some
have to pick your
hovering
battles.
clones at some point.
Oh no.
And they were in the background, so it's fine.
Yeah. And the ATTEs were kind of sliding along as they were walking.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Wait, it's 2008.
yeah, whereas like Anakin's chest, everyone is looking there. It's fine, he's 19.
No!
Isn't it weird that we're older than Anakin?
Yeah, I don't like that.
No.
Wait, so Anakin turned to the dark side at 21, so I'm still not Darth Vader age yet.
I am.
Rip.
I am burnt to the crisp at this point.
A bit overdone.
Yeah. I think I'm younger than Obi-Wan in episode 2 at least.
Definitely in episode 2, because he's 30 in episode 2.
Obi-Wan is 16 years older than Anakin.
Whoa.
So he would be 35 in this.
Huh. That's strange.
A little.
But, what is your light side? And don't say Anakin's chest.
Well, so that I don't have to be called up by FBI, I'm going to say... How old is Ventress? Hang on.
Oh, no!
No. I'm not gonna... I'm actually going to say Zero the Hutt's hideout.
Really?
Yeah, it like... I don't know. It's just something about it that just stood out to me. Like, first off, I completely forgot that he was in this movie. I forgot that he was, like, important.
Yeah.
But, like, it felt very much like from something that I would consider a better movie, I guess. Like, it had cool music, it had cool, like, atmosphere.
Yeah.
Felt like one of the more PG-13 locations in this
Yeah.
thing.
I just wasn't the biggest fan of Zero the Hutt. He always annoyed me.
Well, he doesn't show up that much more, to be honest. But
Yeah.
we had the Biff band. We had
The makeouts.
the makeout. We had the return of the sound of the Naboo pistols,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which sounds a lot like the sound it plays when you use force powers in Jedi Knight,
Oh god.
the games, which is very much in my head now because I've been playing these games lately.
Fair enough. I can't remember either sounds. Shows how much of a fake fan I am.
Wow, and also a misogynist.
Yeah, as we've established, because I am against that ATTE driver.
That makes you a misogynist? It's well, whatever. Let's not go back to that ever again.
No. That guy's dead now anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, is he?
Well, I mean, presumably the ATTE wasn't functioning when Obi-Wan came to the rescue.
Oh, fair enough. But anyway, yeah, I don't know why, but I just like Zero the Hutt's hideout. It reminded me of like KOTOR as well for some reason.
Oh yeah, fair enough. For like Taris and that.
Yeah, probably because of the Twi'lek dancer in the background.
God.
She stood out a little bit.
What, the one that just jamming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
And she was naked.
No. No.
What's your dark side?
My dark side might be just how unpolished I think some of the things in this film are. From the textures to some of the animations. I feel like
a lot of the voice lines.
Samuel L. Jackson. I'm sorry, I love you, man, but I prefer the voice actor in the rest of the show.
Yeah. Well, at least it was on an uphill. It went
up cliff of Teth.
Yeah. The show took the trajectory of the ATTE driver's line of sight.
No, not that line of sight.
Looking way past Ahsoka towards a better tomorrow.
Yes, a better tomorrow.
Yeah, looking up on the cliff and not down where he would go to jail for.
Yeah. Indeed.
This is
the thing
a
is,
bad
like,
episode.
I'm thinking that, like, if this movie was actually an arc of the Clone Wars, it probably wouldn't be that good.
Well, first of all, the Christophsis battle would be much shorter.
It'd be much shorter. It wouldn't be as impressive. The ATTE battle, the on Teth would probably be shorter too. Wouldn't be as cool. You wouldn't get the whole paratrooper sequence, you know, with like the red light, green light part, which was awesome. You wouldn't get that kind of stuff. You wouldn't get the electric guitar music. You wouldn't get the whole stap, you know, thing. Remember the staps? They were cool.
Yeah, when Anakin stole one.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka was like, Anakin, stop.
Oh, stop. I feel like a lot of that would be cut if it was just a normal episode.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, like, they did a good one.
Yeah, I think the movie on the whole is, I would say, positive. Because I put in, like, I've got a Excel table of all the films I watch. And I've only got 2 ratings for it. Red or green. So only good or like positive or negative. And this is green. This is thumbs up from me.
Yes, thumbs up from me as well. Like it reminds me of that Back to the Future meme. Like you are just not prepared for this, but your kids are gonna love it.
Yeah, it's true.
And I guess we are our own kids at this point.
Oh my god, I'm my own grandpa.
Yeah. Isn't that canonically in Back to the Future as well? Or is he his own
No,
dad?
he did not f*** his own mum.
He did not? I thought he did.
No, he almost did.
Okay. I haven't seen that film.
Yeah, what? No, Fry from Futurama.
He's his own grandpa.
He's his own grandpa, yeah.
Which is less bad, I think.
I think so. But it's still a bit...
Yeah.
Speaking of bad things, what is your dark side?
My dark side is that Stinky kind of basically never came back. Like, I checked Wikipedia, and other than his movie, he shows up once in the background, basically, of... what's that episode with George Lucas in it?
I can't remember the name, but the one where his daughter gets kidnapped.
That one. He gets mentioned once, and that's it. And for the son of Jabba the Hutt, that's really weird. Which really makes me think that our theory that Rota the Hutt is in the school in Mospelgo.
Yeah.
I think that lends it credence. Because it's all Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
He doesn't forget.
Dave Filoni doesn't forget.
And
what else do you think that big hat is storing? It's storing his big brain of Star Wars lore.
Yeah. He's actually hiding Rota the Hutt under his hat.
Oh god, it would be so slimy.
Yeah, and so stinky.
But do you think Rota the Hutt, Jabba's punky muffin, will show up in the Book of Boba Fett?
I don't know about the Book of Boba... Actually, probably yes. He has to show up somewhere at some point.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in any books. He hasn't been anywhere. And we do know for a fact that Mos Pelgo, at least in the books, was harboring a baby Hutt to fill the power vacuum after
Which is
Jabba.
presumably Stinky.
Yes. Who else would it be? Like, there's... Where would the people of Mos Pelgo get a baby Hutt?
Unless
if not from Jabba's palace.
Unless after killing Jabba, Leia then went into Jabba's palace and murdered a child. Unless that happened.
It runs in the family, I guess.
Maybe. Unless that happened, I think Stinky is alive and in Mos Pelgo.
Yeah. Where else would he be?
Yeah. What if Boba Fett goes to Cobb Vanth to say, thanks for being such a total bro about the whole armor thing, and then he sees, like, in the background, like, out of the corner of his eye, a baby Hutt, and he's like, no! He, like, gets out his gun, it's like, point blank, ends Stinky.
Could be. Oh, maybe it's going to be, like, the war between
Boba
Fett who's
Stinky.
trying to establish himself and the people of Mos Pelgo.
Ooh. Or Stinky's got his own private army.
Yeah, he's the... what's that face from Game of Thrones? The king, the evil
Joffrey.
Yeah, he's the Joffrey of Mos Pelgo.
Oh god. What if Bib Fortuna just killed him though? That could have happened.
It could have.
Because presumably Stinky would have become the next leader of the Hutts.
Yeah, maybe he was meant to be just like the regent until...
Yeah, there could be some like proper court scandals going on in Jabba's palace.
Yeah. But we do know that Aftermath is canon. We know that for 100% now that Cobb Vanth exists.
Yeah, that's true.
So if Cobb Vanth exists, logically, Stinky is in Mospelgo.
Yeah. We're gonna have to hold out hope and wait for this December, this Christmas.
Yeah, dude. It's only like 12 more months. 11, rather.
It will probably go quite quickly.
It really will, like with so much stuff that's coming out, like time will whiz by.
Yeah.
And also, like, our third year of uni, that's going to be...
Oh
it's
my
going
God.
to be wild. And
what am I gonna do?
should we
go on to
the one in the middle?
The Bendu?
Oh wait, did you say what your dark side was?
Yeah, no, you haven't said your dark side.
I have not? No, I have. It was Stinky.
Yeah, it was no Stinky.
No Stinky after this movie.
Yes.
Which is not technically a dark side about this film. But
yeah.
I don't make the rules.
Indeed, you don't. I don't. It's the primordial beings that run On Air-Deraan that call the shots.
Yeah. The Zygerian says that it's okay.
Yes. So the one in the middle, the Bendu, is probably when Palpatine was telling Padme that Obi-Wan and Anakin being in danger.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, Padme was so blasé when it's like, Obi-Wan's in danger, and then he's like, I don't give a fuck. And then Palpatine says, and also Anakin's there, and then Padme's like, Anakin? Is he okay? And it's like being the least subtle she could possibly be, that is her secret husband.
Yeah.
It
was the same at the very end when Anakin says, "You have my everlasting and undying gratitude."
I hate that moment. Oh my god. That was so...
It kind of felt to me like the prequel's version of I Love You, I Know. But it's
but it failed.
Exactly, because they are a very awkward couple.
Yeah, they are a very awkward couple who don't spend that much time together.
Let's say, hypothetically, I don't know why it reminded me of Ben Shapiro.
Oh my god.
Ben Shapiro flirting.
Ben Shapiro flirting.
With AOC.
That's who Anakin was on call with. When he was
he
saying,
probably
I don't like
would
sand.
be ultra.
So let's say, hypothetically, if you could buy all the sand on Naboo...
Let's say, hypothetically, that the system doesn't work. Let's say, if the seas on Camino were rising, why don't they just...
sell their houses?
Sell their homes to themselves. And move further downstream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're being real, Anakin probably would be either QAnon or like alt-right or something.
He literally
of the
is.
sort.
He says democracy doesn't work in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
He literally says it.
What if we were ruled by someone strong, like Trump, for example?
Oh, God.
Which kind of is what Palpatine is.
I feel like Palpatine was, on the surface, competent, though.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So
yeah, not like Trump.
Yeah.
He's Palpatine is what QAnon thinks Obama was.
Yeah, like instead of Pizzagate, it's Sithgate.
Yeah, and it works because drones.
That's true. Drones, also known as clones.
Oh, it rhymes. It's like poetry.
It rhymes. If it rhymes, it's true. That's the rules.
That is the rules. We don't make the rules, but we do make this one rule.
Yeah. Rule of two.
Whoa. 2 terms.
Ah! The Chancellor has exceeded his term.
Oh, let's not continue, or somebody will actually think that we believe this.
No. Palpatine ran for an extra term without getting voted in. Like, that actually happens in Revenge of the Sith. Like, Mace Windu's like, you guys seeing this shit? He didn't get elected, and they cancelled this election.
Well, then Obama can't be Palpatine because he did win 2 elections.
True.
And I'm pretty sure he also won the voting in the epic rap battle of history between him and Mitt Romney.
I wouldn't be surprised. I remember
Yeah.
that. That's a long time ago.
I remember thinking that, I remember back in 2012 or whenever that happened, that Republicans are not evil.
Yeah, I remember the times. Oh my god.
Remember the times where I was just listening what those two had to say and then made my opinion based on that, instead of knowing that the Republicans aren't actually even as good as they claim to be, which is not that good at all.
Yeah. Sad times we live in. Begun the dark times has.
Yeah. But Padme is kind of like AOC. She does genuinely try a lot.
She does, yeah. She forms the Rebel Alliance. Well, she forms the, like, what's it called? The Committee of Thousand Systems or whatever, with Bail Organa and Mon Mothma and all those guys.
Yeah, I definitely remembered that was a thing.
Deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I know that Mon Mothma was there. I just don't remember that was what it was.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how did no one make the connection that Anakin and Padme are literally the AOC and Ben Shapiro ship that exists for some reason?
Well, I mean, probably because Anakin isn't asking Padme for feet pics all the time, so...
No, for feet hollows.
Yeah. Well, and also, Ben Shapiro thinks that all women should be as dry as sand, whereas Anakin doesn't like sand.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that Ben Shapiro likes it. We just know that he thinks that.
He thinks that it's physically impossible. My wife, who is a doctor... Fucking hell. My wife, who is a senator, says that...
all planets are dry.
Oh my god. Right, should we move on
this
to
is getting cut out.
We'll move on to the middle, the Bendu.
Yeah. The middle, the Bendu, which pretty much every time I have my selection, I change the rules on what that means to me. This time, it's going to be a thing that only sometimes applies, which is, again, the cinematography, which I think is my one in middle in like half of the episodes. But I just, right now, I have a thing pulled up, a still that I ended up completely at random in the movie, which is not Asajj. It's a big close-up on Ahsoka's face with one of the Tython spires in the background. I think it's the one with the Twilight on it, which probably thematically doesn't mean much, but it just looks super sick.
Yeah.
And cool. There was a lot of that. There was a scene during the duel between Kenobi and Asajj where they're backlit by a giant full moon.
Oh yeah, that was cool. There's some Mulan vibes.
Definitely, there was a binary sunset at near the end of the movie,
and you see like a bazillion moons in the duel with Anakin and Dooku.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that scene where they're like walking through that hallway towards Stinky's
prison cell.
Prison
with
cell.
All the droids in the shadows.
Yeah, and like the rattan windows that don't really lead anywhere.
Yeah,
that looked super sick. As you mentioned, that like landing sequence when the red light, green light.
Yeah, that was cool. Or
that tracking shot of the clone in the beginning of the movie that I just can't stop thinking about. This movie,
with the binoculars.
No, there was one where a clone just charges out of the cover
and punches,
and the No, not that one. I think it's right before then.
Oh, the one where he like charges out and he gets shot in the head, and a load of people get shot in the head.
Probably
stuff. That was cool, and
it was just
Go ahead. No, I'm agreeing with you. That was that was really interesting.
So much really neat stuff in the movie. Or like there was a scene when Kenobi and Rex were talking, and you can see a super battle droid just walking towards them. And as soon as they're ready to charge, that super battle droid jumps over the cover and Kenobi just slashes him in half.
Yeah, that was cool.
It doesn't mean much.
There's a lot of tracking shots that reminded me of the super battle droid that fell from the monastery on Teth. And it follows him all the way down to getting chopped in half by Anakin, who's climbing up.
Yeah, this movie...
That's some pretty cool parts.
Yeah, this never stood out to me, but geez, bloody... Dave Filoni, when he's not directing The Mandalorian.
Yeah, when he's not, literally. The thing is, it's night and day. If you can, he directed this film, and he has basically unlimited tools at his disposal with the volume now, basically.
I mean, we do have to take into consideration that it was the first live-action thing that he shot.
Yeah, well, the first one he shot was The Gunslinger.
Was it?
Yeah, he directed The Gunslinger.
Okay, the second thing that live-action thing that he ever shot. And he has, as we can see, he has a lot to unlearn about animation before he can do the same, but in live action.
He's got to remember that they don't have to wait for it to render.
Yeah. Dash render.
The dash render, indeed. Yeah, I think the cinematography is pretty neat. I agree. It
might be because it has Ahsoka in it, and there were moons in the background, but I just feel like these two have a lot of like noticeable commonality.
Yeah.
The Jedi and the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just...
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, this movie looked kind of janky in other parts, so that's why it's not my light side, but the one in the middle.
Yeah,
because it's not super consistent.
Yeah, there's shining moments and not shining moments.
And of course, we have that Ventress Kenobi moment, which is baffling.
I can't believe that. Is it?
Oh my god! I pulled up the picture of Obi-Wan, and basically it has kind of a close-up of like the top of his lightsaber.
Yeah,
and it's pretty detailed. Like for something you would never look at. Like it has like emitters and like holes around where the blade starts.
That's decent.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it's not a huge amount of detail, but it's for something that's on the screen for like a half a split second.
Yeah,
and you would never even look there. I'm just impressed by this film. I don't know why, but I am.
That's pretty cool. There's a lot of small details, like with the rabbit droid stores the holo projector in its in his ears.
That was really neat.
Yeah, I don't know, small things like that that the movie didn't need to do.
Exactly. It's just it's the Filoni magic. It's just
it was still limited by budget. I think
it had I think 8.5 million budget,
which isn't that much when you think about it.
Yeah, it's less than an episode of Mandalorian.
Yeah, and it's an entire theatrically released movie.
Yeah.
So I'd say, on the whole, this movie is a big plus from us.
I would definitely say so.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, like story-wise, not so much.
Oh yeah, the story was not that good.
Yeah, it's definitely like, if this was a live-action film, the story would still be like the pits. But like, it's just... it works for what it is. It just really works, which is really surprising considering how much even we, the shillest of shills, hated it.
Yeah, exactly.
And before you say anything, this is technically a Warner Brothers movie.
Oh my god!
So praising it does not make us a Disney shill.
It's a Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah,
but friggin' Star Wars was 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, but if you look at the very beginning, it has the Warner Brothers logo.
That's so weird.
I can't explain this. It's just a thing.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Still.
Oh well.
Enjoyed it. Oh well.
And it did break new ground.
It did. Well, brought in Ahsoka, a Padawan for Anakin.
Yeah. It didn't have an opening crawl.
Yeah.
But it did have the Wolf Yularen crawl, which is, I would say, is superior.
Had a baby hut.
Oh yeah, the proto Baby Yoda.
Had a lot of people dying.
Oh my god! Imagine if instead of Baby Yoda, it was Rota the Hutt.
I've seen a render of a quote unquote cute baby hut, and it looks like a bloody giant raspberry.
It probably can be done though.
I don't know. I don't like slugs.
It's the one thing you can't stand.
I would much rather... I don't mind Jabba the Hutt, like a big slug like that. I just don't like...
big, ugly, spotted slug?
I just don't like small slugs. I hate them. I don't like thinking about slugs or snails. I don't like thinking about them.
That is fair.
It was such a weird thing to...
And speaking of things we hate, it is finishing for the week and not being able to talk about Star Wars until the next time.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to
which
next
we
time.
sadly have to do because we are students and we have stuff to do.
Lots and lots of work.
Yep.
Lots and lots of reading.
Lots of writing about the attention economy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It doesn't matter. But there's one thing I have to mention before I sign off. In the previous essay that I wrote, I snuck in the sentence, "It's like poetry, it rhymes."
Oh no!
And this will be the first time I will actually read the in-depth marking notes to see if my nerd of a professor has any sort of a reaction to it.
Yeah, I hope they did.
Yeah. I by the way, I said it in relation to Spider-Man Far From Home, because I almost said Anakin and MJ. Peter Parker and MJ have their first, almost attempt at getting together on the Charles Bridge in Prague.
Oh, and they get together on the tower of London, the Tower Bridge.
The Tower Bridge, yeah, which is probably intentional.
I think that is intentional. I've never realised that, but that's really true.
Because bridges connect people.
Whoa! Building bridges.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges. He was in the first Marvel film.
He was.
Oh my god.
He was also in a flashback in Far From Home.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It rhymes.
Jeff Bridges, Prague, Tower Bridge.
What important bridges are there in Star Wars?
The one that Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting on in Siege of Mandalore.
Can you think of literally any other... Oh yeah,
No,
the light bridge. The light bridge on Ryloth.
No, but I mean the one in the Siege of Mandalore at the very start, and then that is it's like poetry, it rhymes to the Battle of Christophsis, because Anakin does the feigned surrender, Rex is doing the jetpacking. It all makes sense now.
Oh my god.
So basically, Star Wars The Clone Wars is actually just a rip-off of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Well, I thought you were going to say that The Clone Wars is one big piece of poetry, and as what it is, it deserves a Nobel Prize.
That's true.
For literature.
Virginia Woolf, look out. I know she's dead though, but...
Everyone says, who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? But who is Virginia Woolf afraid of? Bloody Dave Filoni, because he's better than that punk.
Oh my...
That punky muffin that Virginia Woolf was.
Get wrecked. Oh.
We have to go, because this is getting off the rails.
I think ending it on saying, Virginia Woolf is getting schooled by Dave Filoni for poetry is a good way to get us killed by the Death Star for just trying to kill our conversation.
Yeah, we are getting silenced.
Silenced by Tarkin.
Yeah. He thinks our ideas are too radical and dangerous.
I have information relating to the ATTE driver's arrest.
We have to talk about this quickly before they silence us.
You may fire when ready.
Clunky. At least this was not a flaccid ending at all. Yeah, thanks to Obi-Wan and Ventress.
Yeah. Obi-Wan certainly didn't have a flaccid ending.